very different, but generally speaking, in athletics, you know, if you practice 30, 60, 90 minutes a day, you're doing a good job. Every other day as well, it might be useful adding variety as well. So if you just study social studies for an hour every day, you're gonna get bored, right? Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you study your weaker subjects. Tuesday, Thursday, you study your stronger subjects. That way, every night when you're studying, whatever you're doing, you're always doing something a bit different, so it keeps your brain engaged. Okay. I don't know if you kids have ever had to study like 3-4 hours. Anyone? No? It's not fun. Not fun at all. And for me, like after an hour, 2 hours, particularly in university, yeah, my brain just starts to wander. It's hard to focus, right? So you got to vary the information, go for a walk, take a break, whatever you got to do. Okay. Some of you may have found school very easy in grade 7, grade 8. You might find grade 9 very easy as well. What I would emphasize is building good habits, building habits that are going to help you succeed. Your content's always going to get harder, more challenging. Your competition might increase as well. So, you know, a student with 90% and above average in high school, particularly at Christ the King, there's only, well, now our high school is pretty small-ish. So if you have a 90% average, you know, you're competing with 200 people. But if you go to university now, everyone who's in university had good marks in high school. Some people had good marks and good habits. Some people had both of those and they worked really hard every single day. So your competition gets harder. So it's better to focus on a good habit, right? Having the habit of reviewing and studying your material daily, 2-3 times a week, 4 times a week is a lot better than, you know, just getting good grades, right? Because then you can use that habit for other things. Again, if you don't want to go to university or college after school, after you're done high school, totally fine, right? But how are you going to keep learning about the things that you need to know about, right? There's a lot of things you need to know about. Okay. Here's a couple other things. So there's a lot of good science and data and research on either, you know, when you're learning new things, to take a nap after you learn them. So some of you might find as soon as you get home from school, you want to go fall asleep. Maybe you sleep for 30 minutes, an hour. Maybe you sleep for 90 minutes and then you can't sleep at night. Okay. So there's really good science and research done on taking a nap after you learn something, even if you just close your eyes for 10 minutes and rest. Okay. There's good data on exercising after you learn or in between as well, so going for a walk. So over the summer in August, I was making material for my grade 10 course, and you know, I'd spend 30-45 minutes just making material, looking at textbooks, doing some research online, making some PowerPoint slides, and then I'd go for a walk, maybe around the house, just walk a couple laps around my neighborhood. I also have a little treadmill in my house, so I would go on that as well. And it just breaks up what you're doing. And how many of you really like sitting for 90 minutes? Anyone? It's not fun, right? So hopefully we'll try to incorporate some movement into the class as well. But having some movement, again, it just adds a variety to what you're doing. Okay. If you know your test date, if you know your assignment dates, you know, start working on that as soon as you can. It just reduces the stress and the pressure that you experience. If you have a study guide, review that. So the material I'm using now has study guides. It has, you know, vocabulary words, some key questions as well that are going to help you. Study that. There's some online material as well. While you're studying, while you're trying to prep, remove distractions. So I'm quite extroverted, so sometimes it's very hard for me to get work done around other people because I would much rather go and talk to people. So for myself, sometimes isolating myself for maybe 30 minutes helps. So it manages both those desires. Like I don't like working just by myself for an hour, 2 hours. 30 minutes is enough. In 30 minutes, I can get quite a bit of work done, and then maybe I go and talk to someone, right, or go for a walk, right? But remove whatever distractions are bad for you. Like I'm not too distracted by, you know, TV when I'm working. My phone can be a distraction. Oftentimes I'll have that in a different room. Music as well can become distracting if I'm always trying to find the right song. Then I'm spending more time looking for music than I am actually doing the work I need to. So whatever those distractions are for you, figure those out and try to deal with that. Okay, we already talked about this stuff as well. Okay, finding study chunks and then taking small breaks in between is going to be very helpful. I didn't learn that until my 3rd year of university. Nobody really taught it to me. I was kind of experimenting on my own because I was starting to see some patterns with how long I could focus and how many breaks I needed in between studying to actually be successful, because it wasn't until my 3rd year of university I actually started caring about my grades. So, figure out what works best for you. Hopefully, like myself, grade 9s, you are working on getting your sleep schedule back in good shape. For me, waking up isn't the hard part nowadays. It's actually going to bed on time and having a set bedtime, even on the weekends. So getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, some of you might need 8 to 10 hours of sleep, is going to do the most for your mood. It's going to be the most beneficial for your mood, for your learning, for your hunger as well, how you feel in general. So I can't emphasize getting good quality and enough sleep enough. Okay. I think this is the last slide. Okay, yeah. So this slide is the last slide. It's quite important. Most people associate studying with school and preparing for tests, but the reality is, you're gonna have to study and learn about, whatever you're interested in, right? So at some point, like how many of you at some point want to move out of your parents' house, right? Most of you. So you're gonna have to learn how to manage yourself in a household, right? You're gonna have to ask questions like, well, how do I clean this thing? Where does the garbage go, right? This is all learning, it's studying, it's all the same, right? Some of you might go to university, college. Some of you might do more like textbook academic stuff, right? So you'll go to university, you'll read the textbooks, you'll write essays. Some of you might learn things that are more hands-on. Some of you might go and start your own business. You're always going to have to be learning new stuff in life to keep things new and interesting, right? Maybe learning about yourself, learning about what you're interested in. So everyone studies. It's just nowadays we just think studying is like looking at your textbook, doing questions, and preparing for a multiple choice test. But when you're older, it's preparing for anything that you're unprepared for in life. Okay. And I think that we will wrap that up with that. Okay, thank you.